Calypso History Month continues. We know that calypsos and the oral arts capture our history. It is known that history tends to repeat itself. During World War II, over 50,000 Trinidadians suited up for war in different parts of the world. Our waters were a graveyard for ships, and our land a mark for bases. Calypsonians at the time recorded their experiences and interpretations of what was happening. Growling tigers, 10,000 years old, time so hard, offers a stark look at the conditions in Trinidad at the time. Where's the poetry in 10,000 years by Growling Tiger?
Time so hard you cannot deny that even saltfish and rice I can.
Now the song is the usual 5 verse, each verse 8 lines long. That traditional calypso opening is used in verse 1 where the line is repeated, the first line is repeated. Now that line gives us the economic outlook of the country at the time. Saltfish and rice, for God's sake, which was supposed to be, I guess, the cheapest food suggested by the word even. He said even saltfish and rice. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. The person also cannot afford to put milk in his tea. But guess what? He's resolute, he's resilient. The image of resilience is symbolized in the line that says, but I will plant my provision and fix my affairs. Nice alliteration, plant provision. And of course the hyperbole to suggest that the war will be ongoing for 10,000 years. In the second stanza, life before the war is presented. Look at the food this man used to eat on our morning. Mashed potato with bacon, stew pork and rice, toast bread with butter and jam, 7 eggs in the morning and a junk of ham. Listen, that was saved him from hypertension and all kind of thing. He don't even know that. But then comes in the juxtaposed image presented as the simile of him living as a wandering bird. Right? If I see my first or second, I can't find my third. Now I'm not sure exactly what that line means. I don't know if it was a slang back then. I see my first and second, I can't use my third. But it does seem to mean that things were limited. He can't get the third one. No room for excess. And if it does mean something else, I'll hit me up in the comments, but it showed me that, you know, he didn't have all them ham and egg as he had before. Stanza number 3 is the part where the hyperbole dances alongside reality. Now, although hyperbole is an exaggeration, folks, the main thing about hyperbole is that it points to truth. It still points to truth. He's saying if he has a cigarette, he cannot find a match. Right? He can't find one matchstick. Yes, that is hyperbole, but at the same time, we understand what it really means. Can't trim me here, he had to wear saddle patch. Shirt on the back turning green. Thanks to Hitler, the president came and intervened. In other words, the present day situation is facing him right now. Because of Hitler, of course, we know we're talking World War II. So maybe he could have found a matchstick, but he really illustrated how hard it is to get anything of leisure. You know, you smoke and it was a pleasurable experience. You can't do that. Your shirt probably turning green and sweat. You can't get clothing. But this line stood out to me. Earlier in the stanza, my boot sole gone a twist on the side, and I kind of wondered if soul was a pun. Not just your boot sole, but the soul of yourself, your walking spirit. Right? Because in the next line, he say, he must abide under this persecution. And often the idea of selling your soul kind of exists alongside some sort of confinement, some kind of punishment. It may also represent not being able to walk freely. You see, your boot of your soul, you can't go nowhere. All in all, it is a compelling image, my favorite line in the Calypso. The fourth verse begins with a geographical landmark, Mount Hololo, like somewhere up Cascade, St. Anne's sign there, and it was being seen as a place of refuge. Right? He wants to plant his dasheen and okra in peace up in Mount Hololo. Don't bother him. And he uses a bold metaphor to compare the rising cost of condensed milk to a mortal sin. How will you go have it at 14 cents? Imagine that. Nice humor and exaggeration. He finds a suitable replacement for the condensed milk. He's dealing with a lime bush tea, so we see this man, he depended on the land. And the last line of that stanza is next one of my favorite lines. Let the white people fight for 10,000 years. I go and do my thing. This war does not belong to me. He immediately distances himself and as an extension Trinidadians from the war. And throughout the song there's the contrast between this agricultural based peaceful living that we exist in or that we have possible in Trinidad next to this impending war that does not belong to us. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, the last verse, he shows how uninterested he is in the foreign war, as he claims the supply ships are his main concern. The food ships coming in, that is what I'm worried about. And he wondering why Guyana's sugar tasting so. Why Guyana sugar at the time was tasting so, he calls it arsenic. Right? And he even went on to say, but wait now, it's like it's Guyana who raging a war against we based on the extremely poor quality of the product of Demerara. How are they gonna do them that back then? How are they gonna do them that? Right? He then ends with the repeated line, he will plan provision and fix his affairs and let who have to fight for thousands of years. For however long they could go ahead and fight. That actually sounds like my approach to whatever is coming in this country's way. I give this a Growling Tiger 9 out of 10 on the poetry scale. There's the poetry in 10,000 years by Growling Tiger. Classic Calypso. Remember to like and subscribe if you appreciated the content, and if there's some text that you want us to analyze, just drop it in the comments below. We'll get it and find out where's the poetry.